maneuver around on the new computer and stuff?
A little, yeah. I've been able to get through it. That sounded amazing.
Yeah.
Giving a cold, you're doing it.
Water. Sounds amazing.
No, you're lying, you're lying. Just that noise.
Right? Stay so.
Yeah. All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I am going to convene our meeting. And first of all, ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. With respect to roll call, Santino Laster is quite ill and is not able to join us tonight, and we will miss him. Otherwise, we are all here. Special welcome to new board members Peter Madden and Leah Hibble. We're just so glad to have you here. So, with respect to that, I'm going to call on our clerk, Sue Hine, to administer the oath of office to our new
Yes.
board members.
If you please
Why
rise.
don't you come on over here, actually?
Yes. If you raise your right hand, do you, Leah Hibble and Peter Madden, who have been duly elected to the Board of Education of the Sheboygan Area School District, affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and will faithfully discharge the duties of said office to the best of your ability?
I, Leah Hibble,
Affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office of the Board of Education of the Sheboygan Area School District to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Thank you.
Welcome. And now the fun begins. All right, let's move on to our elections for president, vice president, treasurer, and clerk. We're going to start with the president. And
Sorry?
I will call for nominations for president.
I'll just eat her, sorry. I nominate Santino Lester as president.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare that nominations are closed.
How are we aware that he's willing to accept that?
He is.
Okay.
I spoke with him today. That's a really important point. It's a great job, but still. All right. All those in favor of Santino Laster as president of the board, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Congratulations to Santino. Having worked with Santino the last couple of years, I know he is going to do a wonderful job for all of us and for the school district. Vice President, excuse me, are there any nominations for Vice President?
Madam President, I would like to nominate Heidi Bamer in the office of Vice President.
Very good. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, all those in favor of Heidi Bamer as our Vice President, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Congratulations. We will move on to the treasurer. I would call for nominations for treasurer. I would nominate Kay Robbins. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare that nominations are closed. I should have asked for a second.
I second.
You did. Oh, okay, very good.
I would move to approve Kay without having to take a vote.
Well, we're gonna take a vote.
Thanks, Mark.
That was nice of you.
So, all those in favor of Kay Robbins as our treasurer, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And finally, we have our clerk position. I would call for nominations for clerk.
I nominate Sue Hine as clerk.
Very good. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Is there a second to that motion?
I second that.
All right. Nothing further. All in favor of Dr. Sue Hine as clerk, please state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Congratulations to our new officers. And Mark, they all survived the vote. So, all right. I'm gonna go back to my regular agenda here, which is more normal to me. We have some other business to attend to, and the first is the annual review of board member behavior and code of conduct by our bylaw 0144.5. You've all had a chance to review it. Just a couple of things that I would mention. We always need to remember that we act as a group. We do not act individually. In other words, as an individual board member, we have no power to
Speak for the board.
speak for the board, thank you. Mark, you had your Cheerios today, I can tell. Speak for the board, well, you can always make inquiries, but take action as an individual board member because we speak as one. The bylaws do provide that, and we often get emails that the board president is typically the person who speaks for the board and answers those emails. That is a treasured obligation of any board president to be responsive to emails. And then just my favorite pet peeve, no cell phones even on the table. We're just asking that everything gets put away, just so that none of us is distracted by whatever might go on. So, did anybody have any questions regarding that particular bylaw, our obligations and opportunities as board members? It's a well-written policy, so if you haven't read it through carefully, I would suggest you do that. All right. We are moving on to item 10, which is public depositories. It's an action item, and I get to read all of this, so stick with me. The administration recommends that the Bank of New York Mellon Trust Company, N.A., Wells Fargo Bank, Wisconsin, N.A., U.S. Bank, N.A., Associated Bank, N.A., BMO Financial Group, Johnson Bank, Bank First National, Wisconsin Bank and Trust, Cleveland State Bank, Kohler Credit Union, Local Government Investment Pool, Wisconsin Investment Series Cooperative, and the Midwest Institutional Trust Company be designated as depositories for the Sheboygan area school funds, its investments, its short-term lines of credit, the recreation department, and various schools located within the Sheboygan School District for their banking needs as provided in bylaw 0152. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Is there- And there's a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Moving on to item 11, facsimile signatures. The administration recommends that it be authorized to extend the use of facsimile signatures of officers who have been placed in the president, the treasurer, or the clerk's position, or members who are no longer on the Board of Education through June 30th, 2024, as provided in bylaw 0152. Do I have such a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We'll move on to miscellaneous provisions. A is quite important. I would ask for a motion to authorize the administration to pay salaries and have the same confirmed by the Board of Education at the next regular meeting. Is there such a motion? And a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Item B is an information item, and
Madam
I
President?
expect that,
I'm sorry.
what did I do?
We skipped item number
12.
12. And I just want to
Oh.
make sure we can go back to that at some point where it's appropriate.
Let's do it right now before I forget. It's the Roman numerals, you know. So we are in item 12, which is the designation of publishers of the Board of Education proceedings. The administration recommends that the designated publisher be the Sheboygan Press. Do we have such a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Okay, we are now going back to miscellaneous. Item B, report on the financial status of Post-Employment Benefit Trust Fund. Mark?
Always my favorite.
The gift is not for you, just so you know.
Oh. So in your packet, there's a balance sheet for the Fund 73 Trust for our OPEB, and that's as of June 30th, 2023. I did just want to make note that there was a GASB change. GASB 84 had us reclassify what used to be the vested, or were the vested portions of our funds. That's meaning that employee who was vested in their HRA account, that was always listed as a liability. That GASB ruling was now changed so that that is listed as an asset. So that's why you'll see there's a big change in that position from last year, 6.9 million. So 6.1 million of that is just that reclassification from a liability to an asset. So, are there any questions regarding that?
All right, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mark.
We'll move on to an appointment of representative to the CISA Annual Convention, which is coming up quite quickly. Is there anyone who might be interested in being our CISA 7 representative? Peter Madden, wonderful. Anyone else? People are not clamoring for that position, so could we have a motion to appoint Peter Madden as our CISA representative to the annual convention?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. We will move on to the appointment of a delegate and alternate to the 2025 Wisconsin State Education Convention, the WASB Convention, which is always at that convenient time at the end of January in Milwaukee. Is there anyone at this point who would be interested in being a delegate and/or an alternate?
I would.
We have Leah. And Kate, very good. Anyone else?
Could be an alternate.
All right, I will say that any board member can go to the WASB convention. There is funding for, we don't do much board education, so it's a wonderful opportunity. Sarah and Heidi and I went last year, and Kay, have you been? No, it's very interesting. So we had Leah and, who's the second one? It was
Peter.
Kate.
Okay.
Leah and Kate, all right.
And then Peterson.
And Peter. So we have a motion to appoint Leah and Kay and Peter as, we'll choose a delegate and an alternate, if that's all right with everyone. Is there a second to that motion?
I would second that.
All right, any discussion?
I'm fine on being the alternate.
You plan on being the alternate?
That's fine. If
All
there are
right,
two other
we can
people-
only have one delegate, it's my understanding, correct? So just one actual delegate, and Leah, you spoke first, so you can be that delegate, and Peter and Kate can be alternates. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Excellent, and I do hope whatever board members want to attend, will do it. There are 3,000 people there. I mean, it's really quite extraordinary. And Sarah and I sat in on one of the finance,
The 4-hour one.
the 4-hour one.
Oh.
Yeah, I
They do
didn't,
pretty instructive breakout sessions and stuff.
it's
too.
incredible, it really is.
Everyone should have to sit through that finance, finance one.
It was, yeah, I didn't last as long as you did, but I'm not a banker, so there you go. Very good. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, state aye.
Right.
Any opposed? The annual reorganization meeting is adjourned. Thank you. We'll take a couple of minutes and then come back. Actually, when do we have?
6:30.
So we will come back at 6:30 for the regular. Oh, man, yeah. That's mine, yes, thank you. It's gonna be 6:30. Then we get home. And then we're doing it. I still have 6:29.
So do I.
So long as 6:29 ever.
Yeah.
I know.
We'll just
Right.
start 4:20.
Okay, I call this meeting to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, item 3, can I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight?
So, second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. For roll call tonight, we'll start over here so our new members can.
You just,
Oh, I'm
all
sorry.
all you have to just say is that
Oh,
Santino's not here.
roll call. Santino Laster's not with us tonight. Please bear with me. I did not expect this when I woke up this morning. When I was
She's
running this meeting.
stepping into the breach, so we so
All
appreciate
right.
it.
I ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Our student representatives. We have Lizzie Yakum tonight from North and Yesenia Vera from South. And I'm going to choose Lizzie to go first tonight, if that's all right.
Or did you predetermine?
Oh, no, that's totally fine.
I thought I saw paper,
Did
rock,
you
scissors
discuss
going
it?
on.
No.
They did paper, rock, scissors, I think.
Was it you? Did you win?
Yes.
Okay.
Or lose.
Or lose.
Always have to.
Alrighty, so good evening, board. My name is Lizzie Jickham, and I will be speaking tonight on behalf of North High Student Council and Student Body. I am a senior this year and am planning to continue my education at UW-Madison on a pre-pharmacy path. Before I begin, feel free to interrupt at any point with questions. So, since the last board's meeting, North High has been busy at work to ensure a successful school year. And on that note, on February 29th, which is a Thursday, Student Council had a blood drive with 37 successful donations. Then on March 5th, which is the following week, over 600 students visited a volunteer fair held at North. 42 nonprofits were on hand in the field house to share what they were about, and students could sign up for volunteer work. The following week, all juniors took the ACT. Yuck. But 230 freshmen, sophomores, and seniors volunteered their time at 13 sites building Bears of Hope, 937 mental health kits, and making dog toys for the Humane Society, making quilts, bedding cancer cards, and much, much more, to name a few. So, students are so excited about prom this weekend, which I am as well, which will be held at the Bull, I think it is. And then seniors also, including myself, have a ton of events coming up, like scholarship night, senior banquets, awards night, senior signing, baccalaureate, and the graduation ceremony itself. So looking forward, well, in like 2 weeks from now, which is May 4th, is Expo, and this will be our 55th one, and the theme is Expo Goes Out of This World. So feel free to come and join us from 4 to 10 and see students' art, talent, music, and food on display. So right before Memorial Weekend, we'll be having a Raider Nation family vacation, which we will have some classes, but it's followed by one giant lunch and various activities and fun events run by all the teachers and clubs. So in regards to state and national recognition, our bowling team won the state bowling championship back in February, ending the Sun Prairie top performers were Jenna Kruger and sisters Jenna and Brianna O'Connor. So very good for them, congratulations. And then the Educators Rising Club will be sending 11 students in 6 events to the national championship at the end in Washington, D.C. in June. So Liberty View, for another club, and Nick Yang qualified for national HOSA competition, and in the end of June they will be going to Houston, Texas. So that is amazing for them. And then Ethan Meissner, Julia Vanderwater, Elizabeth Kaufman, Kimiko Lee qualified for FCCLA National Conference in 3 events. This competition will take place in Seattle, Washington in June. And then another event that happened is 16 North students were placed at the annual Wisconsin Chinese Speech Contest held at UW Milwaukee 2 weeks ago. So that is so exciting for them. And then Landon Jacobs, Oliver Lincoln, Dana Yakish qualified for National Historical Competition, and they will be going to College Park, Maryland this summer. And then on another aspect, sports will be continuing for the remaining of the year, and they will be rolling with good participation and numbers on all teams. So with that being said, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Lizzie, really well reported. Does anyone have any questions for Lizzie?
Yes.
I didn't hear what you said you were gonna study at UW-Madison.
Pharmacy.
Pharmacy. Excellent, good luck.
Thank you.
Lucy, one question I have for you, it sounds like there are quite a few events coming up. Which one are you most looking forward to and why?
I would say I'm most looking forward to Synchro, which is a part of Expo.
Yeah.
I'm really excited because I've done it all 4 years, so this will be like my last go out, and I'm really excited.
Fantastic. Best wishes.
Thank you. Yesenia.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, so hello everyone. My name is Yesenia Vera, and I'm a senior at South High School. Since my last report on February 27th, students and faculty have made significant advancements and achievements. As many of you know, winter sports have come to an end, and spring sports are now in full swing. Our forensics team had an impressive end to their season with 4 students placing at the state level. Mackenzie Schmidt placed 3rd in state in oral interpretation of literature. Eva Valdez placed 2nd in state in Farrago. Lily Wamser placed 2nd in state in oral interpretation of literature. And Eric Sheehan was named the state champion in informative speaking. Continuing with our student achievements, 17 Chinese students participated in the annual Chinese speech contest on April 13th at UW-Milwaukee, 12 of whom received bronze, silver, and gold medals. South Chinese Red Lotus dance team performed Dragon, Lion, and C-Pop, highlighting the speech contest's opening ceremony. Make sure to go check out the South High School's Facebook page to view videos of the amazing performances put on by the South High students. Staying on topic, Chinese language students, Sunshine Chang, Violet Yang, Angela Lee, and Ellie Chang were nominated for the Excellence in Chinese Learning Award of 2024. Students in the music department recently participated in the Solo Ensemble Festival, with several qualifying for state Solo Ensemble Festival taking place this Saturday, April 27th. Shifting our focus to staff, Counselor Giselle Simons was awarded the Herb Cole Educational Foundation Award. Mrs. Simons has worked tirelessly at South High School to inspire students and motivate them about their futures and the importance of education. As one of her students, I can say for certain that she has supported me through my high school career and has helped me and inspired me to choose to become a school social worker in the future. This award is truly well deserved, and she will continue to make a lasting impact on South High students. Moving on to school events, the South High halls have been filled with flyers and posters of upcoming or past events at South. Sheboygan South High School's Hispanic Youth Student Organization recently held its very first Loteria Night at the South High Commons. This event had a huge turnout and was well enjoyed by South students and community members. Scholarship Night took place on April 18th, and roughly $900,000 was awarded in different amounts to about 80 South students. This past Saturday, South High's Jazz Band held its annual spring swing at the Three Chiefs Brewing Company. South students will continue to be busy with Feats and Follies taking place this Saturday in the South High School auditorium. The show starts at 7 p.m. Next week, Saturday, will be South High School's prom. Following in North's footsteps, this year's prom will be held at the Bowl, and to add a twist to it, the junior class officers have shifted this event from an all-school event to a junior and senior prom only. Interact Club's second community block party will be held the following week on May 11th. This event will include a cornhole tournament, games, raffles, and so much more. South's Hmong Student Organization will be holding a Hmong Veterans Day on May 14th. This will be the first ever Hmong Lao Veterans Day Assembly to honor and recognize Hmong veterans in Sheboygan County who served in the U.S. Secret Wars during the Vietnam War. In addition, students will be taking the opportunity to educate the school on the Hmong experience of immigrating from Southeast Asia to the United States, showcasing the story of crossing the Mekong River and traditional Hmong dances. This event brings awareness of the cultural norms, customs, and language, and this event is open to the community. As the school year is quickly coming to a close, our students have been wrapping up their testing season. The juniors took the ACT on March 12th, and they were welcomed with a breakfast organized by school staff. The 9th and 10th graders took the ACT Secure on April 16th, while the juniors participated in the personal finance experience, which challenged students to navigate life on a salary related to their future careers. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my report. As a senior, this will be my last report, as I will be continuing my education at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Please feel free to ask any questions. Thank you.
Really well done, Yesenia. Both of you, your schools must be so proud of how well you represent them. Thank you for being a part of this.
What are you gonna be studying?
I'm gonna be going into social welfare and then applying to the social work program.
You said you're gonna be a school social worker? The way you just informed us about strengths and about events and resources, you're gonna be great.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck.
If you heard Yesenia talk and you stole a little of my thunder, which is usually happens when we have students presenting, in my report coming up shortly, but the scholarship night, Yesenia, you want to mention you had you were the first to present the scholarship.
Yeah, I was the first student at South Scholarship Night to present a scholarship for Hispanic Youth Student Organization. We started the scholarship to encourage students to participate in our club and to continue showcasing Hispanic culture at South. So it was awarded to a student who really dedicated to the club. So yeah.
Very neat. The high school students raising funds to develop a scholarship for their own high school students. Just amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you very much, both of you.
Little round of applause.
Congratulations.
We thank you both, Lizzie and Yesenia, for presenting to the board, and we have a parting gift for you, just to thank you, a couple of SASD swag items for you to enjoy, so thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are on the item of community input. Do we have anyone who's come to provide community input tonight? Any hands for community input? No? Okay. So, moving on, miscellaneous. First, we have the presentation of the 24-25. Oh, sorry, superintendent report.
Wonderful, thank you, appreciate it. Those students always do an excellent job, and things that I have on my notes to report about, they always seem to steal it, which is great. They do such an amazing job. As you recall, online summer school registration began on April 3rd. This year we've got a great robust summer school program, 80 different courses, everything from academics to enrichment, and whether that's art, music, rocketry, cooking, and the like. Just a great opportunity for our students during the summer. Geared for kids 4K through 12th grade. So far, we have more than 1,500 students that have signed up. There's still opportunities, but just a wonderful summer school opportunity, if you will, again, for our students. As part of our summer school, once again, the School Nutritional Services will be offering free breakfast and lunch during summer at select summer school sites. Meals are available for any child 18 and under. No registration, there's no identification needed to participate. But per the USDA guidelines, all meals need to be served on site, and those who are participating need to eat and finish their meal on site. It's not a grab and go, but that's a USDA guideline, not a Sheboygan Area School District one. So it's wonderful that we can provide lunch and breakfast to students who attend summer school or those who need it in the community.
Seth, what schools are gonna be providing that?
I don't have the list of the exact schools,
Okay.
but it's at North, I know, elementary schools, but I can get you a list if you
Yeah,
want. so.
that'd be wonderful.
Okay. On April 11th, the district held its annual All-District Strings Festival in the South High Fieldhouse. All of the district string orchestra students from grades 5 through 12 participate in the event. It's great to see the kids all together. Different age groups will play, and then it always ends with a culmination of all the students, 5th through 12th, playing a song. This year's was the finale, the Overture to William Tell. So a wonderful, wonderful event, and kudos to our district string students and the instructors for putting that on. Yesenia talked about personal finance opportunities for all the 11th graders at South High that took place, and 55 community volunteers, 30 different businesses helped to participate in really giving students a monthly example of and opportunities to explore what it is, what their job is, and it was based on what they are choosing to do post-high school. They had to get their expenses, they had to be able to buy a vehicle, buy insurance, pay for their student loans, purchase entertainment, which is always interesting, and then watch kids go from, I want this real expensive car, to, whoop, I'm gonna trade it in and get something so I can pay the rest of my bills, like where I'm gonna live, my childcare costs, etc. And at the end, they have to have a balanced checkbook and an account remaining in their checking account that night, or that afternoon, excuse me. You heard about scholarship night at South was last week, Wednesday. Tomorrow is North High School's scholarship night. The Sheboygan Public Education Foundation will be holding their own this year, and we have reported out, Heidi and I did, about their decision to do that for the scholarships they administer on May 15th. Scholarships night are always just a great celebration of our students, and truly showcases the generosity of a community. You heard already at South High, over $900,000 was given in scholarships to students. We're gonna see more of that at North and also at our charter schools. Just an update on our Farnsworth urban referendum, and 3 updates I wanna share with you as we continue our work to plan for that. First and foremost, last time we were together, you approved the community survey to go out. It's in printing as we speak. It's expected to hit all 30,000 postal mailboxes in the Sheboygan Area School District boundary on or around May 3rd. We're truly looking to hear from our community members, and hopefully to have a tremendous amount of responses by the due date of May 22nd. Second of all, please remember that there'll be 2 additional information sessions held during that window. So on May 16th at Urban Middle School, and again at May 20th at Farnsworth. Both of those sessions begin at 6:30, and it's to really go through the information presented in the survey and be able to allow people to address questions, comments, concerns that they have, either after they complete a survey or prior to. We'll also have some computer stations set up those nights where they can actually do the survey online that same night, and or turn their paper copy survey in as well. And then finally, May 6th, we are putting together a community presentation outlining the data and findings from the independent traffic study that was conducted by Traffic Analysis and Design Incorporated, or TADDI, pertaining to the relocation of Urban Middle School to that Nyack Mill Road site. The presentation will be led by TADDI, and that will begin at 6 p.m. and will be held in the Urban Auditorium. News releases, social media postings, and communications to our parents will be going out within the next few days. So we're excited and looking forward to hearing their report with the data and also the findings and what we may need to address as part of that traffic study. Back in February, you heard from Chris Hine, February 13th. Chris Hine, the athletic director at South, came forward to present to the board some information regarding a potential conference change and the fact that South High was supporting that change. Just this afternoon, the Wisconsin Scholastic Athletic Association Board of Control, or the WIA Board of Control, approved the conference realignments task force recommendations for the non-football plans. Again, football has their own conferences. This is for every other sport outside of football, which would begin to be implemented in the 25-26. So not this fall, but the following fall for sports, again, other than football. A new 7-team conference, yet to be named, was formed. You heard Chris talk about some of the schools that we thought might be a part of that, but the final conference will consist of Sheboygan South High School, Kewaskum, Plymouth, Port Washington, West Bend East, West Bend West, and Kettle Moraine Lutheran High School. So those are the 7 conference schools. Again, no name has been formed yet for that conference, but I want to make sure you kind of heard the end result of that realignment task force. Congratulations. You heard Yesenia talk about Giselle Simons at South receiving the Herb Cole Education Foundation Teacher Fellow. We also had a student, Aaliyah Herta from George Warner High School, was selected as a Herb Cole Education Student Incentive Scholar. It's a $10,000 scholarship is awarded to students who have demonstrated academic excellence and initiative and have displayed a broad range of activities and leadership throughout the community. So congratulations to Aaliyah and congratulations to Giselle. Also, we had 14 staff members that were selected as finalists for the Eastern Wisconsin Excellence in Education Awards program. The program allowed parents, students, community members, and staff to nominate deserving employees in all categories for innovative work, a culture creator in the work environment, social and emotional well-being, community involvement, and/or student connections. The following staff members were nominated. So Emma Hainzinger, second grade teacher at Jackson, Elizabeth Madgwick, a family and consumer education teacher from Horace Mann, Thomas Yedeka, social studies teacher at North High School, Carla Vorpahl, an SASD social worker, Carla Brennan, kindergarten teacher at Longfellow, Michael Rank, a high school teacher at South Height, Ryan Schmitz, math teacher at North High, Douglas Arthur, social studies teacher at North High, Danielle Cifaldi, she's their GE teacher and academic support teacher at South High School, Jill Kraus, world language teacher at North, Matthew Miller, language arts teacher at North, Heidi Hammond, an educational assistant at Jackson, and Patawandi Kaufman, an educational assistant at Horace Mann. Award winners will be notified this week, and winners will receive their award during a reception and program that will take place at 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 18th, held at the Kiel High School PAC. I'm looking forward to attending the event and seeing these individuals who are the award winners from Sheboygan. If you're interested, it's open to board members. If you're interested in attending the event, again on May 18th, Saturday, 6 p.m., please let Jenny or Jill know, and we can get you signed up for that event. And the final congratulations goes to Mary Lynn Donahue. Mary Lynn was the recipient of the 2024 Leonardo Lieb Award for the Senior Lawyers Division of the State Bar Association. The award is given to a senior lawyer who has made significant contributions to the legal community, shown respect for the legal system, demonstrates a love for the law and high ideals and personal character, has participated in organizations to improve communities, and has participated in the state and local bar activities. So congratulations, Mary Lynn. That concludes my report.
I'm very sorry I almost skipped you.
That's all right. Like I said, I would come back.
I do want to just comment on, I was part of the personal finance, I volunteered, and kudos to the teachers, administrators for putting it together because it is a very well-oiled machine, and it's enlightening to hear and see the students select no internet, no TV, because they don't want to have to pay for it. So I heard a couple of them say, wow, I guess my parents do a lot for me. So it was really nice, but kudos to the team because they did such a good job organizing it.
Wonderful. I should pass that on.
Just curious, because I've only heard rumblings through media, and I did touch base with Dan Stengel, but what's the status of the WIA proposal on image likeness, and where that's at, and whether or not this board is gonna have an opportunity to give direction to our athletic directors on where the district stands on that, and just a brief so that the fellow board members have an idea of what I'm even talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually turn over to Jake, if you don't mind, Jake. He participated in a webinar just the other day.
Yeah, so we sat in on the webinar yesterday, in which WIA made their pitch. I think that WIA's pitch is that it's happening in 31 states already that have language. They're using the language from those 31 states. And they feel that it's better off if they put it in versus someone else, which would be the state legislature putting it in for them.
In case not everybody knows, name, image likeness would be paying our student athletes or other co-curricular students for sponsoring them and they actually be paying our kids like they do the college athletes currently.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jay.
I think you're gonna talk a little bit about the
It's a
difference here.
tricky, right, it's a tricky situation from a standpoint of, the language is pretty restrictive, so, right? They're not perfectly clear on their language yet, but what they would like to do and what the language kind of proposes is that an alumni would not be able to pay NIL to a student, and any business or donor to a school district or to a booster club or to a team would not be able to pay NIL to a student, and a student cannot rep their school. They can't even wear their school colors in a poster. So if a restaurant wants to name a burger after South High's point guard, they can do that, and they could pay the student, but the student can't appear in any marketing with South High stuff on or with South High colors. That restaurant must never donate to South High for anything else, and the owner of that restaurant must not be a South High alum. So they're really putting restrictive language in, feeling like this is coming either way. So they're trying to limit it to the best of their abilities through that language. So that's kind of where the WIA is for it. I don't think, much like the NCAA, I don't think anyone in those organizations wants it, but it's a reality, so they're trying to put language in to best restrict it and control it. If it's anything like college, you can't control it. The NCAA has figured that out rather quickly. When they referenced other states, they said less than 1% of student athletes were taking advantage of it at the high school level, so really what they're finding is when you put in the, you cannot donate to the school, people are out at that point. They're like, whoa, no, we want to support the team more. But is there a possibility that someone's going to start paying players to leave Sheboygan and play at another school? Absolutely. Does that happen right now, behind closed doors? You know, that is what it is. It doesn't hit this area as hard as it maybe hits the burbs. But that's kind of what they're looking at. So Chris and Dan are attending the athletic directors conference, I think next week, and the ADs will be voting on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I see the three of you are ready for the presentation of the 24-25 proposed preliminary budget.
Yeah, I'll kick it off and turn over to Mark. So, as we look at, in our budget cycle, we always come in the meeting in the meeting in April, and share with you, for information purposes and discussion purposes, what items in our budget are we recommending for reductions, what we're recommending for increased allocations, and where our budget is. We'll walk through the proposal. We have the month of April, the month of May, and then finally at the end of June, we ask that the board approves the preliminary budget at the June 25th meeting this year, but knowing that the full and final budget for the 24-25 school year would be approved at the October board meeting, at the end of October. Mark can address why we have to approve it two different times, a preliminary budget versus the actual budget in October. But we're here tonight to provide you an update of where we're at within the budget, take your feedback, address your questions, and then we will, this will cycle back in May and again in June for a vote. So this is just for information discussion tonight, no action will be taken. With that, I'll turn over to Mark, and then Jake and Jamie and I are here to support Mark and address your questions as well.
Great, thank you, Seth. So our first presentation here of a draft we've put together for next year's budget. We just want to go through the expense reductions and expense additions that we have to get us to a balanced budget. We'll listen to input, answer questions. We'll come back in May, and we'll do this all again, and then we come back in June when the board hopefully approves a preliminary budget. which the district then works off that preliminary budget until the final budget is passed in October. We waited until October because state aid and our pupil count are all complete at that point. We can kind of put the finishing pieces on the budget. But we do like to have a preliminary in place before the fiscal year starts July 1st. So looking at going forward for next year, our total revenue cap is going up 2.16% for next year. So that's far short of the 4.12 CPI that we're dealing with. And our cost to go forward, we just have no salary increases in our cost to go forward. We have no department budget increases in our cost to go forward. The only things we do have as increases in that is our expected insurance cost. And we also have some contracted maintenance agreements, things like that, contracted cleaning. Those are contracts that we do have increases in for all those. But as far as departments and that, they are frozen for the cost to go forward. So with that 2.16% increase to revenue, our surplus to go forward would be $64,000. And then we have 12 expense reductions and additions we'll go through tonight. That brings us to a balanced budget. So I'll go through them. If you have any questions as we go through each one, just let us know and one of us will try to answer those for you. So our biggest expense reduction typically is staff turnover every year. So as we have a number of retirees and we bring in employees that are at a lower on the pay scale, that does reduce our salary budget. So you can see that number one expense reduction and staff turnover is estimated to be $936,410 for next year. Number two is enrollment-driven teacher reductions. So we've had a higher number than we've had in the past. You know, we've had slow declining enrollment, which usually we are able to reduce positions around the district, depending on where those student enrollment figures fall. Sometimes it doesn't help us because of what grade levels they're in, and we still can't reduce by a teacher. But the last couple of years, we've been using ESSER funds to try to create some smaller classrooms, and as those ESSER funds are being depleted, we're going back to kind of our board policies on class size, and we were able to go through and find 14.3 reductions of teacher positions. And if I'm correct, Jamie, there's no layoffs involved with that. We've been able to find, other positions through the staff turnover that there's no layoffs involved with those teacher reductions. So you can see in our packet here, we have a list of where those reductions are, and that's a total expense reduction of $1,001,000. Number three, with a recent retirement of S&I secretary, that department has kind of reorganized and not replaced that retiree, so they've some additional duties were assigned to other positions, and through other efficiencies, they've been able to eliminate that reduction. $75,925 savings. The IT department also did some restructuring with a recent retirement. Although a position wasn't replaced, that position was changed a little bit. It's now going from an administrative to a support position. And then also some of the savings in that we're going to reallocate 10 additional days for our print shop EAs. So they have a lot of cut days for over the summer for the EAs that work in our print shop. but they are so busy and they are having a hard time getting all the orders ready for the start of school. So they've been asking for additional days, and we've used some of that savings of the position change to add those 10 days. The net of that is an expense reduction of $7,605. Number 5, so later on, you'll see that one of the expense additions is the move to a 5-day 4K program. Currently, it's a 4-day program. So with that, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's a couple transportation changes here. So number 5 is a expense reduction, and that's because we're eliminating the early release Wednesdays and adding 9 full-day professional development days. So we're actually having 9 less days of needed student transportation. So that expense reduction is $68,895. Number 6 is another reduction to our overall student transportation budget of $346,511. So as you well know, we have been short of bus drivers, getting worse. I would say over the past 8 years, we've not been able to replace all the bus drivers that either retire or leave. We're always very optimistic that we're gonna hire more bus drivers and have more routes, but that has not been the case. And we feel that we need to be a little bit more realistic on the routes we're gonna run next year, and looking at the routes we have and the drivers that are coming back. We feel that transportation budget will be able to be reduced by $346,000. Number 7, we still have some ESSER grant money available for next year. Some of the HBCA projects and other things came in under budget, so we would like to use that money to offset teacher salaries for next year, $439,357. Last year, we used a little over $1 million in ESSER funds to fund teacher salaries. That $1 million was put back in the budget and the cost to go forward, but now that we still have some of those funds available, we'd like to use $400,000 of those for teacher salaries. It is important to note that that's one-time money that will go away next year. So next year, we'll have to put the $400 back in. It'll have a much less of an impact than the $1 million did for us this year. As far as expense additions, we are proposing a 4% total salary increase for the teacher group. Last week, we met with the SCA to propose initial offers. The administration had a 4% offer, and the SCA came in with a 4% offer. So we are both in agreement with that. Again, CPI is 4.12, so we weren't quite able to get up to that, but we really are proud that with a 2.6 revenue increase, we were able to get a 4% salary increase for our employees. So we will continue to work on how that money is spread over the salary schedule, and we're continuing to meet about that, but we're in agreement with the total percent increase for that group. In addition, we're also proposing the 4% for our support staff and then our administrative staff. Another expense addition is we're proposing to add a 0.5 FTE secretarial position at Pigeon River Elementary. That increase is just bringing Pigeon River into alignment with what secretarial support other schools in our district have per students in their buildings. And then number 12, I will let Jake speak to the 5-day 4K.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So it's sometimes rare that you can make a relatively big change outside of the long-range plan, and it just presents itself, and that was the case here with moving to a 5-day schedule. So we've always talked about how do we get our 4K students in more. And when we went to this 5-day schedule, that opportunity really presented itself nicely. So honestly, we didn't think we'd have it in place for next school year. We thought we'd take a school year to plan, and I want to thank Kelly and the team at the ELC for making it work quickly. And it was a great example of the we mentality. Kelly and I went over there and spoke with that staff and said, are you interested in doing 5 days? We think it would be better for kids. We want you to not be stressed at work. We want relatively stressed at work. We want to keep your class sizes similar. We want to keep your prep similar and work with you to figure out a way to do this. And they were all on board, stating how beneficial they felt it would be for their students to be at school 15-20% more and to have those Wednesdays. Also really nice from a district perspective as far as childcare for parents. And one thing that we've noticed is the readiness of our kindergartners, maybe not where we'd like to see it. So that additional time for SEL for helping those kids adjust more from a social interaction and behavior standpoint is really important. So that was all I said. I went to one meeting, I walked away. Kelly and that team started looking at options of how they could make it happen, and they came up with some really good options really fast, as far as adding some EA support so that kids could do some interactive things in their library or in their gym space to add to the day, so that the teachers wouldn't miss out on prep, but the kids would get that extra instruction. So we feel really good about this addition. $111,000 is nothing to sneeze at, but we're getting 15 to 20% more education for our 4Kers at our ELC, Lincoln Erdman, and Cleveland sites for that cost. We feel really good about that, and we plan to present to the S&I committee as well in greater detail. But that's where we are right now, and just a big thanks to that team for coming together to make it happen.
Will the 4K or 5, will that schedule mirror the rest of the district schedule, or is it gonna be different?
It'll mirror their schedule from a days in school perspective for the most part, but they go half days. So they'll still do their mornings and their afternoons. They'll just be, right now they're not in school on Wednesdays. Now they'll be in school
Okay.
most Wednesdays.
Any other questions? That was just for information and discussion, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark, Jake, and Jamie.
Okay, item B. Resolution authorizing the transfer of funds, the establishment of an escrow account with respect to and the defeasance of certain of the general obligation refunding bonds dated March 7, 2017. This is for information and possible action, so Mark, can you explain that, please?
So there is a resolution in your board packet, and we're asking for action on that resolution. So what we're doing is we're paying off $4 million in principal on one of our borrows. So we're doing this. These bonds, though, are not callable yet until March of 2025. So what we do in these situations is we set up an escrow account. That $4 million goes into the escrow account, and then they hang on to those dollars until the bonds are callable, and then they pay off the bonds. Once we have the money in the escrow account, though, that debt service comes off our official statements here for the school district. So the advantage of paying off those bonds early is that, we'll save a little over $1.5 million in interest payments that would have been paid through those years. So we did this last year, and we're looking to do it again this year. The bonds that we're paying off were payments in 2035 and 2036, so by paying them off early, it's quite a bit of interest savings for the district. So Any questions on the
Is
purpose
the
of
escrow
this?
account an interest-bearing account?
It is, yes. So they take into account two things. There's some fees involved with bond counsel and with Baird. And there's a small fee for Associated Bank to set up the escrow. But then they also, there's interest earned on that. So the interest earned offsets the fees and actually adds a little bit more that you can pay off. So.
Thank you.
I would move approval of the resolution.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion passes. Thank you. Item C, easements to Sheboygan County for County Trunk Highway EE Wheaton Creek Road Project.
All right, and Joe Volmer is joining me. So Wheaton Creek Road is getting sidewalk, curb, gutter, you know, that road that runs to the south of Jackson School. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. We knew this project was coming, but it was always so far into the future. So this is finally being scheduled for the summer of 2025. So this is gonna be a really nice improvement for around the school here. So, but the county, that's a county road, Wheaton Creek is County Highway EE. So the county is asking for a number of easements along mostly Wheaton Creek Road, but a little bit on Menning Road north of Wheaton Creek. So they did put together a little diagram of the areas that are affected. We are taking advantage of this and changing a few of our drives while they're doing this. So you can see two drives going into our parking lot there. Currently, there's a third driveway into our property to the east of the one drive you see there. We're gonna have that closed. And then the other change is on the east side of the building, there's a little drop-off loop that goes to the east of the building. We're having that shortened, so it sets back a little further from the intersection there. So, because a lot of times cars would back up and we can't keep the line moving there. So all of this work that you see with those driveways and a little bit of extra parking for us too will be covered through this project. So it'll be covered by the county. So you'll see one of the permanent limited easement lines right on the corner of Menning and Wheaton Creek. That one is simply, they don't want us to put a sign there that's gonna impede, you know, viewing of that intersection. But a lot of improvements to the road too. You can see a bike lane, crosswalks. This will allow for a few more students to be in a walkable zone. We'll look at that through the Hazardous Review Committee. And when this is complete, and we might be able to open up the walk zone a little bit, which we're always looking to do with the declining bus driver situation. So Joe has worked with the county and has worked with the school on what they want this to look like. So he's done a lot of the prep work on this. So if you have any questions, they do pay a small acquirement fee. You can see that in the agenda there for this, that they'll be paying for some of these easements and temporary easements. So any questions regarding this? Yes, Peter?
Whenever you have a crosswalk like that, is a crossing guard always used or not?
We do have some crossing guards, but we don't have a lot of them in the district. My sense is because Wheaton Creek is a busy road, I don't suspect we will open a walk zone to the south of the school. But to the north of, north side of Wheaton Creek, as that sidewalk continues to the east, there are some houses that are right on Whedon Creek that will now have sidewalk, the kids will be able to walk. And I do believe that we will allow them to cross Menning Road at that intersection. Because coming off of Menning, that, you know, that's a controlled stop there. But when you go to the south, a lot of those subdivisions don't have sidewalks anyway, so it's kind of hard for the kids to get up to that crosswalk. If they would ever put more sidewalk in, you know, that's something we could explore. If crossing guard would open up the walk zone quite a bit more, that's always something we can look at.
I think it's an important point, Mark, is all the subdivisions that come off of north or south of Whedon Creek don't have any sidewalk in those subdivisions. So it's already a bust area, and this wouldn't change that.
But this does show sidewalks on both sides of BE.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's basically the houses then that actually are on Whedon Creek on that side where the kids could walk up that sidewalk, but any of the houses in the subdivision beyond that, there's no sidewalks in those subdivisions.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Could I have a motion for entering into the easement for these 3 parcels?
So moved.
And second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Chair votes aye, motion passes.
Thank you, Jill, for your work on that with the county, and looking forward to seeing that happen in 2025.
Bringing in the big money.
All right, the adoption, the second reading of revised Board of Education Policy 8700, nursing mothers. Jamie, did we want to go into any more discussion for this? Does anyone have more discussion? This is a second reading.
I would move approval.
Second.
Any opposed? No, I did that wrong.
We have motions, so all in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion passes. So, annual planning session. Seth and Jake.
Yep, I'm gonna kick it off and turn over to Jake. Annually, in the April and May meetings, we come to you to solicit input regarding our June planning. This year's schedule is on June 11th. Knowing that the focus of that meeting is always on next year and the goals and whatever, I will not be at that meeting. Jake will actually lead that meeting as he continues to take on more responsibility as your incoming superintendent. So I'm gonna turn over to Jake for this item.
Yeah, thanks, Seth. So I don't think, unless we're hearing from the board that we're looking for change, that we'll do it much differently than we have in the past. It's run pretty well, so the plan is to come in and review this year's long-range plan and our status and accomplishments, and then preview next year's long-range plan. And then we always ask that board members submit any suggestions or discussion topics that they want to address to Jenny ahead of time. And we get through the night in a pretty efficient manner, so unless I'm hearing otherwise from the board, we'd look to follow suit this year.
Thanks so much.
Same time, 6. We're not gonna start early. Remember how we used to start early?
Yeah, we usually do dinner.
We've started at 5:30 some years, we started at 6 some years. I think we can have that discussion if you want to start a little earlier, but we historically have served sandwiches, and it's been a working dinner meeting.
Right.
We plan on that again.
And broccoli salad.
Exactly.
Somebody wants broccoli salad, it sounds
I
like.
think that could be, you know, not, once we see what the agenda looks like, we'll have a better idea of if we need to start early or not.
Okay, first.
By what time do you want topics from us? And do we send them to Jenny, or where do you want them to come?
Yeah, if you can send them to Jenny by mid-May, that really helps us.
Okay.
We go to our principals and get their feedback at that time too, and we're trying to wrap things up by the end of May.
And then, okay. Any other discussion? Questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. It's a little weird as I'm getting to the end here, and
It is.
Jake, so we're handing things off.
Report of committees, first curriculum and instruction, Kay.
Okay, our first item is sending some, approval to send some North High kids to an important Educator Rising National Conference, and I would move approval.
Do I have a
Second?
Any discussion? I will get my little cheat sheet here. Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
And then I would like to move items 2 through 10 as a unit. These are all things we have approved and gone over in committee.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries. Thank you. Human Resources, Dr. Susan Hine.
Yes, thank you. I have a very short agenda on this one. I would recommend approval of number 1, appointments, and number 3, retirements.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
I also, again, would congratulate all our retirees coming to the end of the school year and their years of dedication to our district. And then number 2 and number 4 are for information only, and that is all I have.
Thank you very much. Facilities, Recreation Theater, and I believe Kay is taking that.
Okay, I would like to move approval of the bid for Altmeyer Electric in the amount of $139,575 to replace the primary electrical service.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
And I would like to combine items 2 and 3 and move for approval of the Schweigen Theater Company's financial report and the Community Recreation Department financial report.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
And number 4, facility permit report is for your information.
Thank you. Finance and budget, my name is listed there, but Sue is helping me out.
Yes, I would recommend approval of number 1, which is Fund 41 capital projects, and number 2, statement of cash flow.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
Also, I would like to recommend number 3, revenues and expenditures report, and number 4, budget revisions and transfer of appropriations.
Is there-
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
And then I would move approval of our rental of garden plots. Again, this is our annual, when we designate those plots to the Mount Association. And we've always been in a great cooperation with them. So I would move approval of number 5.
Is there a second?
Is that both locations, north side and south side?
Yes, as far as I know, it's really only the south side
Just
now.
the south
Because
side,
the
yeah,
north
we don't-
side
We don't
is-
own the property anymore.
Yeah, we don't own that property anymore on Taylor Drive.
Okay.
I did bring some information on that. It's Optimus Park, 7.7 acres in the amount of $380. So was there a motion? You made the motion, a second? Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries.
And then 6 and 7 are for information. We did have an update of our nutritional services. And then also number 7 is gifts, as listed.
Thank you. Committee of a whole, Mary Lynn, I believe, is
Yeah.
providing that.
So the information and action item relates to item number 7, which is the school perception survey. You'll remember we had a discussion and review of the survey, and we are asking, I am moving rather, to approve and distribute the school perception survey.
Is there a second?
Mary Lynn?
What
Because
did
the
I
bo-
forget?
Because the board has already approved that in committee of the whole, we don't need to reapprove that then.
Well, then why did you put action here?
I'm
No.
sorry, that was just what it was listed for on the original agenda. I'm sorry for the confusion as we're rotating chairs tonight.
Possible action.
We're in the Department of Redundancy
Yeah,
Department, so it's.
we don't need to have redundancy
All right.
department. So, my apologies for
See how
that.
easy it is to make a mistake?
Yes.
All good.
I felt it.
All right.
All my years on the board, I don't know that we've ever actually had a report out from committee of the whole.
Yeah.
It's a first. Okay, special board committees and assignment. First is Human Growth and Development Citizens Advisory Committee, Ms. Kay Robbins.
Well, we continue to meet. Again, kudos to the community who is part of this, because we're meeting frequently and we're meeting for long periods of time. But we really are pushing, because we want to get this all squared away so that it's ready to go by registration and so on. So, we continue to meet. We are putting together and approving more and more materials and slides, and all of that will be available for people to look at, parents, et cetera, or any of you. We specifically are looking to have the materials for the 24-25 year ready for, updated and ready for registration, if at all possible, on August 1st. So we'll be bringing it to you before then, if all goes well. Additionally, we have people who move in and out of this group. We're on a 3-year rotation. Currently, we have an open clergy position, which runs through the end of 25, because that's someone who has left and will be replaced. And we have a parent, a healthcare, and a student position, which will be running for 3-year terms. So if you are interested in, you know somebody who's interested in any of those in the community, those are all posted and available for them to apply for. So it's currently 4 positions, 1 for a short term and the other 3 for 3 years. And our next meeting is May 6th at North High School, and, no, not, that changed. May 13th. The subcommittee is the 6th. We are getting so into this, we now have a subcommittee. Let me tell you, it's something to keep track of. Eric has done a wonderful job, and Jeff Lismer is dynamite. So, May 13th at North High is the one for the bigger group. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sheboygan Public Education Foundation.
Just
Shall I
from
do-
the March meeting, I certainly can take that since you've been leading the show all night tonight.
Yeah.
The minutes are in your, just because of the timing of when the events were and so forth, we're reporting out on the, that March meeting. There wasn't a whole lot on the docket other than they were working on their spring scholarship and their scholarship night on May 15th, as well as the April 30th is the deadline for their spring round of grants.
Where are they holding that meeting?
Stephanie Wild Center.
Thank you.
They, I would encourage everyone who'd like to join them, they are eager to have the board there, 6 p.m. And I did write down that they are administering 1.18 million in scholarships that will be awarded that way.
So if I understand this correctly, the 900 and some that South gave out already is in addition to what they're gonna be giving out?
Correct.
I would just really hope people soak that in. You know, what we are able to do, the community has provided for kids in this school district is phenomenal.
900,000 does not include North High's, which is tomorrow night. So you're gonna
So
see-
there's actually 3 nights
Yep.
scholarships.
So it'd be well over another $1 million tomorrow night.
All right, thank you. Please note communications for your information, future meeting dates also for information, May 14th and May 28th. And now do we adjourn?
You were ask for a motion to adjourn into closed session.
All
Just
right.
leave it.
Okay. I ask for a motion to adjourn into closed session for Wisconsin State Statute Section 19.851E
To consider, just read the whole thing.
to consider strategies and discuss potential negotiations regarding acquisition of property. And we will
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
No,
This
this
one we have to go.
Oh, we vote by roll call.
And, yeah.
So we'll start this way today.
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
Perfect.
We are adjourned.
Good job.
Dynamite.